Welcome back to Kevin Pollak's Chat Show. I got you again. It's not Chat Show. It's me, Samm Levine. Hardy har har. Thank you so much. I'm subbing for our pal Kevin, who is probably in New York. He might just be. You know what? Frankly, it's 10 a.m. and he's probably just sleeping in. And was like, I can't do it this week. You get up early and sit through traffic getting into Hollywood. So I did because I'll tell you why. I'm a professional, number one. But number two, my guest today. My guest today is one of the few people who I would get up this early and schlep into Hollywood on, well, I'll be honest with you folks, it's a Friday morning, which is really when it gets bad. In the Los Angeles area because everyone tries to flee town on Friday mornings. I don't know why. But I did it. I beat the traffic, and I'm here for my guest, who I am so goddamn excited to talk to. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Jade Catta-Preta.
Hi, guys. Welcome. Welcome to us.
Welcome
it's
to
our
us.
show.
This is our show today.
Kevin's in New York having a bagel. We're here having a cold brew coffee straight out of the
having a cold
tap.
brew. Right. They have here at Earwolf, I don't know, I'm sure other guests have talked about it. They have a legitimate tap, a legit keg with cold brew in it.
I love that cold brew is a thing now. Like, we need it. We need coffee all the time.
Yeah, and we have it all the time.
I'm so psyched to be here. It worked out so perfect. I've been literally getting up every day and working every morning, and today I had the morning off.
Oh, so I made you come into work anyway.
Oh my God, yeah.
You were like, I could have stayed home. I could have made breakfast, gone for a long walk with the dog.
What's my favorite Jewish word that it's meant to be?
Beshert?
No, keep going. Kibbutz?
No. Kismet.
Kismet.
All right.
Kibbutz is I believe a dog food, so that's not the one, but Kismet.
Okay.
It's Kismet.
All right.
It
is.
I miss you.
I miss you.
We lived together for a second.
We did. So to explain to our listeners how Jade and I know each other, I guess we'll just start there.
We used to live together.
We used to live together in a commune in Austin. With a bunch of other hippies. We worked on a show I've talked about several times over the last episodes, Crunch Time.
Crunch Time. I had this tiny part in it, so basically I just would sit at the house, smoke weed, and go paddleboarding.
Yeah, I remember all of that.
Yeah, and Sam would come in and go, "It smells like weed. I guess Jade is home."
No, first off, I know it wasn't just you. It was everyone smoking weed in the house.
It was just me.
And don't make it sound like I was a grandpa complaining about weed.
You are a grandpa.
No, I was complaining about weed because I was like, we have a gorgeous backyard. There are so many windows, and you guys sit in here with the AC blasting. You don't go anywhere near a window, and you just stink up the whole house.
Well, I was just
trying
tired.
to smoke me out every day.
I was tired from all the sup. The stand-up paddleboard. And my surfer friends are going to literally, if they ever hear this, just die over in their grave. All surfers look down at paddleboarding, but guess what? It's just as much core work.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's all about the core work.
Maybe I take that back. It's a little easier than surfing.
I wouldn't know. I've never surfed nor...
Yeah, we went out to paddleboard that one time.
You did. I was in a kayak.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's true.
More of a sit-down situation.
I'm a sit-down exerciser. Yeah,
there's rowing for you. There's curl-ups.
Yeah, I can't work. It's my sciatic. Look, I don't want to get into it. So, Jade, I want to, I'm going to guess, out of our millions and millions of listeners, I'm guessing maybe 6 of them are not as familiar with you as they should be.
Oh, yeah, millions of people know.
So we have, by last count, Jordan, you're our tech in the booth here. I know you see the numbers more often than I do. We had 58 million subscribers, downloads the podcast last month, right?
I believe so.
58 million.
Okay, that's terrific. Thank you so much.
Oh, a lot of people listening.
We have a lot of ears.
And now you add mom and dad to that. So that's 58
Would this be your mom and dad?
Yeah.
How, and this is not a mean-spirited question. This is a legitimate question. How is their English?
They both speak English fluently.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, I honestly didn't know. So you're from Brazil,
Brazil, born and raised there, and then I moved to the States when I was 10 to Charlottesville, Virginia, where all the Nazi rallies have been happening.
Yeah. That's because of you, right?
Yeah. We brought them over.
Okay, cool.
Just cousins, family members in the Nazi clan came over. No, they actually chose Charlottesville. It's kind of messed up because it's such a creative little town.
Oh,
it's like kind of a little pocket in the middle of Virginia, which it's Virginia, it's the South, and so There's some racism, but I never had seen any Nazi things, so that was a bummer. That was like what got so much news for the town.
Oh, that you'd never. I misunderstood you. I thought you were saying like it was a bummer you never saw any of that Nazi stuff growing up.
Yeah, such a bummer.
Well,
I really would love to have dated some Anglo dudes.
Yeah, you missed out on the full experience.
No, it was just such everything that happened there was
of course
anything that's built on hate is just such a bummer. It's like, come on, man, hate privately.
Hate in shame, like people used to.
Yeah, like I don't like it when dudes wear flip-flops. I'm not like burning sandals in people's front yards. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like it. I don't like it when men show their toes if they're not at the beach.
If they're not at the beach, I mean, I showed my toes a lot when we were at that house. Did that bother you?
No, but we're home. Like, I'm talking about like you go to dinner, you're at a restaurant, and I can see toe. Like, I shouldn't be able to see your toes if you're a dude.
Yeah.
I want a dude with no toes. Like, he barely be able to walk.
Oh, wow. Like the guy with that half a foot who hit that long field goal in football many years ago.
Oh my God,
He's in the
give me
Guinness
his
Book of
number.
World Records. I don't know
Jordan,
his name.
get on it.
But I'm guessing 3 people listening will get that reference. All right. So you're such a multi-hyphenate. You're an actress. You're a comedian. You are a pharmacist.
I'm a friend.
According to Wikipedia. You're a friend.
Yeah.
So how did you, at the tender young age of, when did you move to?
10. I was 10.
10. Oh my gosh. So when did you get the bug, as they say? When were you infected?
Ooh. Well, I started in dance really young, and I thought it was because my parents thought I was creative, but I later found out it was because I have really bad scoliosis, and they needed my core to stay strong.
Wow.
So they put me in dance when really, really young. Like I was like 7 or something. And then from dance, musical theater, and then musical theater to improv.
Okay. But I mean, I guess the idea is that they can put you there. You know, they can lead a girl to dance class, but they can't make her mamba.
It's true. The shimmy was within me always.
Wow.
As a young kid, you see like family videos, and I'm like constantly in front of the camera. My dad's like, "Get out of the camera." I feel like I always had the bug.
You've always had the bug. Oh, what do we got? Oh, the
that's
dude with
the
half
guy.
a foot?
He's kind of cute. Tom Dempsey.
Yeah, so it's Tom Dempsey, NFL kicker born without toes on his right foot.
There you go. Oh my God. See, I knew he existed.
Single? I'm gonna look him up for real. What if it's like a weird fate thing? No, I don't want to be with an athlete.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, so I always had the bug, and then I kind of fell into stand-up. I moved out here wanting to be an actor.
No, nobody falls
I
into
swear I
stand-up.
did. I swear I did. I was like a big fan always of it. I
So
would
tell me
watch
about
it.
the first time you did stand up on a stage in front of human beings.
Well, it was the Crazy Cindy show, which is a bringer show. If you guys don't know what a bringer show is like it's a bunch of people who have never done stand-up before. If you bring people to the show, they'll let you up. Yeah. It's kind of a scam, but it's a good way to get into it. And I just remember being like, it just went awesome. And this is always how it goes. First time it's awesome.
Yep.
And then it sucks for like 5 years.
Yep.
And then it's like back on.
Yeah.
And then you kind of start to find your voice again. I feel like I'm really only establishing who I am and like what I want to say now, 10 years in. Yeah.
Wow. Because I mean, we did, Crunch Time is 3 years ago now.
Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah, it's going to be 3 years come, I guess, next month is when we headed down there.
That's crazy.
And we had these goofy shows that we would do once a week.
Samm Levine Presents.
Which, again, I did not have any say on that title. The other guys...
That's how we could get people there.
Yeah, sure. But we were doing these weekly shows, and you did stand up every week. And I mean, you certainly, to me, had a very clear voice.
Oh, thanks.
Back then.
I feel like a lot... How do I explain this without sounding pedantic? I feel a lot... I don't feel the need to be validated by an audience as much as I used to. Oh. So it's kind of turned into me just being a little more free.
Okay.
Into like, this is the things that maybe it's not sexual, maybe it's not drug related. There's no like shock. It's just kind of me talking. I feel like a lot of times it's a bit.
All right.
It's a bit more like these things matter to me right now. And of course, who I am in my life and my relationships are different.
Sure.
Now than they used to be. So
well, yeah, as that changes, it can influence what stories you want to tell on stage.
A lot more like I'm a single stories, like dating, like a lot more like dating app jokes, which is woof.
Are you on the apps?
I joined Raya, and it's been interesting.
Ooh, now, for those who don't know, I only learned about Raya myself about a year ago. It is It's, to me, one of the worst things I've ever heard of.
It's horrible.
It's a dating app. Oh, I can't even believe I know
it's a dating app for people in the
exclusively for people in the entertainment.
Yeah, like I don't know if you're supposed to talk about who's on it. I don't know if it's like AA, but like
you know what? I'm going to talk about one person whose profile I saw, only because I can't really envision a future where I'm going to run into this guy anytime soon. Riz Ahmed from The Night Of. Mm-hmm. And I guess Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler.
He's on Raya. Or at least he was as of several months ago. I don't know now. But I saw his profile, and because a female friend of mine was showing it to me because she wanted me to get on Raya.
You can't screen grab, by the way. I got in trouble.
Oops.
Yeah, whoops.
And so she's showing it to me, and I looked at it. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
No, this is awful. Like it's like you have to add music.
Oh yeah, you have to really curate it. Like it's a whole little thing.
There's a slideshow.
It kind of breaks my heart every time I see like Chris Kattan and like Amber Rose and Courtney Love, like all these people that were kind of in this generation that I mean, well, not Amber Rose, but in this generation that they were celebrities when I was like a kid.
Sure.
And so it's bizarre that I could potentially fuck them, So.
I think anyone's got a shot with Courtney Love.
Well,
I don't mean that in a mean way. I just mean she's full of
cool.
She's full of love. Like she'd hang out.
Yeah. It's weird and then everybody matches, right? And then you talk, and nobody ever meets. It's like very difficult to get people to meet you in person.
Yeah.
But yeah, dating is strange. Dating is strange in LA. Dating is strange in your 30s. It's all very new to me.
I agree. It is. Yeah. It is very strange both in your 30s and in this particular city. And I know because I've dated in lots of cities. That's not true. But I've dated in a few different cities.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that stinks about LA is that there's always an angle.
Yeah, but we shouldn't feel like that. I mean, I always feel like that. Like, I can't date a young comic. Like, I can't date a comic.
Oh, no, you definitely can't do that.
I can't date a comic, so that's 90% of the people I hang out with.
That's true.
So that's tough. But I've been going back to Brazil. I don't know if you saw.
I do. Oh, I know all about it.
Oh, is that on your list?
I have notes. I got lots of notes. In fact, let's talk about that because it's so fascinating. So you just did a whole bunch of shows.
Yeah, so I was like, I think November, I was feeling really frustrated with stand-up. I was kind of at the standstill where it wasn't like making me happy anymore. It was just kind of feeling redundant and like kind of felt like I just needed to do it. And then I went to Brazil, and I hadn't been back in 20 years.
What?
Hadn't seen my family in 20 years, hadn't spoken Portuguese fluently in 20 years.
That's not true. I heard you speak plenty of Portuguese
to my mom and dad, but not like, I'm not, I don't have references. I don't have topical things. I don't know what's going on in the government. Well, that's a whole other podcast. But
I know one word in Portuguese.
Say it.
I'm probably going to mispronounce it.
No, say it.
Ostros.
Ostros.
Isn't that the word?
No, otros. Otros is other people. Otros.
Otros?
That's such a weird. Why do you know that?
Because years ago, when people had before smartphones, and people had flip phones. Otros. That's it.
Otros.
I had an R or an S.
Yeah.
You could change the language on a flip phone.
Yeah.
And if somebody left their phone near me and walked away, I would always open it and then change the language to Portuguese, not Spanish.
I like to do that with
easy.
Chinese. Chinese is the hardest.
Chinese is the hardest, but because I would do it to Portuguese and then they'd open it, they'd be like, all right, very funny, change it back. Yeah. I had to learn just the correct amount.
It just means other on a phone.
It does mean, it means other. Like others.
Yeah.
And so that was the key word on so many of the flip phones to be like, this is where, and then idioma.
Idioma, yeah.
Is that, yeah. So those were the key
so funny.
Portuguese words I knew I had to look for to change it back to English.
Most people just know how to say butt and beer for when they visit. But
butt and beer.
Yeah. Bunda e cerveja. But I went in December. I brought a cameraman with me, filmed the entire, me returning, me connecting with my family, me doing stand-up in Portuguese for the first time.
That's my question. You did it in Portuguese.
Oh, man. It was an ego touch. Ego, I don't know. Even I had to reface everything.
An ego hit or an ego boost?
Ego hit, which eventually led to an ego boost because I feel like I've never felt like myself more, know? But like, it was just silent for a long time. I did 9 shows while I was there the first visit, filmed everything. I'm now trying to sell this documentary called Born and Raised. And then I was like, after being there and filming the documentary, I was like, I could be here. I could have a career here. Like, it's booming.
Yeah.
Stand-up is booming there. They're 10 years in. as a whole, like as a generation. And I'm 10 years in as a person. So it was just like this crazy thing to see where it is there. Like they're basically where we were in the 70s. Like there's a guy who's like, I'm the first black guy.
Okay.
And like, I'm the first gay comic. Like they're that early on.
Okay, so the clubs are doing well there.
Oh, they're every comic that's like a stand-up guy, that's like a headliner, they do solo shows. That's what they call them. And they're an hour-long show in a theater.
Wow.
Like a filled 1,000-person theater.
Wow. So they're not even selling booze.
They're so hungry for stand-up and comedy in Brazil. I went to an improv show that's been running for 10 years at a theater, like a 2,000, 3,000-person theater. They sell out every Thursday for the last 10 years. And it's like, I'm talking about like, whose line is it anyway? Short form.
I mean, that's nuts. It
Fully
sounds.
produced.
I almost worry that they're gonna have the bubble.
There will be a bubble. I mean, you saw that Netflix is releasing like 47 documentaries or something in a day.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I can't even get one of those.
I don't.
Do I even want one of those?
If you are a stand-up comedian and you don't have a solo Netflix special by the end of your 5th year in comedy, give up. You failed.
It's so bizarre because I feel like it takes people such a long time to develop this thing. I mean, like the Bill Burrs, the Joe Rogans. It takes a long time to get those isms together, and I feel like people are just like, there's so much material out there, and it's all so undeveloped. I mean.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I used to be a stand-up back in the days when it was young and cool and hip. No, I did it for 10 years from 12 to 22 actively.
12 to 22, Jesus, Sam, that's so bizarre.
I know. I was a fucked up kid.
13, you're like, being a teenager is hard, right, guy?
Basically, yes. But then I would pepper in really filthy jokes just to keep the crowd on their toes.
I know. I feel like that was
I told you my opener. You might have
been doing it at.
No, I definitely didn't do that. I did some stand up in Austin, but not this because I have not been able to open with this. I opened with this for 1 year from when I was 15 to 16.
Okay, say it.
Okay, so the backstory on this is, so I had been doing stand up in New York City clubs with some regularity for. Just about 3 years at this point. And so a lot of the other older comedians knew who I was. Elon Gold and Jeff Ross and Greg Rogel and all the guys from that period who, we're all hanging around. And so we were at the bar at, I want to say it was the Gotham Comedy Club. And we're all hanging at the bar before a show's about to start. And I just said something to them to see if I could get a laugh. And they laughed so hard. And then they were all like, oh, well, you have to open with that. And I was like, no, I can't open. My mother's in the room. I can't open with that joke.
She drove me here.
Yeah, she did. She drove me in from New Jersey. That is the filthiest thing I've ever said. I cannot open with that in front of my mother.
Say it and look at me while you say it.
With pleasure. And so they were like, dude, do it. You'll be our hero. You will be our fucking hero. Please do it. And so I wouldn't commit to it. I was like, maybe. And so then I get introduced, and I always told the MC who was introducing me never to give away my age in the introduction. Just introduce me like any other comic on the bill. And so I want to say it was Sunda Cronquist who was the MC.
Wow.
She was just like, all right, next guy coming up, funny guy, you see him all around New York. Please give it up for Samm Levine. And then I walk out, and I'm 15, so I looked 10.
So you look exactly the same.
Yeah. And so I walk out on the stage, and I have this little baby face, and I walk out, and I pick up the microphone. Ready for eye contact? I pick up the microphone, and I say, how you doing, folks? I'm Samm Levine. I got to tell you, pussy tastes bad at any age. Am I right? And there is a pregnant pause in the room while everyone is trying to figure out what this bit is, and then 4 adult comics in the back of the room they start losing it.
And your mom is like...
And my mother was like, oh, what have I done? Why did I agree to let him pursue this? And then the crowd laughed, and then I opened with that for a year.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I know. Why do we all have this tendency to like so dirty at the beginning? It's just like it feels so fun to have that control of making people uncomfortable. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like even on the show now, I'll like mess with the group. I'll mess with like the grip or something, and the whole group is like, Jane, why do you do this? Why do you drag us down? Like the AD was walking away from us last night, and I was like, oh hey, we all took poops in your trailer. And he just looked at me like, why would you even say, like, it's not even funny. I'm like, okay, bye.
Yeah. Because I think at heart we're all dumb kids.
Yeah, I like making people feel a little bit viscerally uncomfortable.
Yeah. Oh, you have no problem with that.
I have no problem with it, and I kind of like feast on the uncomfortableness of people because I don't find anything taboo to talk about. I'll literally walk to a stranger and be like, I got a little bit of an itch on my leg.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Wait,
worried about it.
You think that's taboo?
Or, you know, like or anything. Like, I'll come up to anyone and talk about, that's a weird example that I gave. But like, I'll walk up to anybody and say anything.
Yeah.
So I just, prank shows, I was like, never afraid of.
I'm the same way. I don't want to say nothing, but I legitimately can't think of anything that would like really make me embarrassed to hear or talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, there are certain things that people will talk about that are uncomfortable to talk about.
I get a little bit uncomfortable about stuff with race. Because I don't think anything is taboo and I'm not shocked by anything. I feel like I'm quick to offend people.
Right.
Like people have these like, specifically with race. Because I'm like, everyone's cool. And they're like, you don't know. You don't go through it. So you don't have to experience it, you know?
You mean as a kind of white person?
As a kind of white person, yeah.
Technically,
on a good day, on a bad day, who knows what I am.
Technically, you are Brasil.
Brasileira.
Brasileira. Something like that.
It's so close. All right, so I'll pick up from Brazil. So I go to Brazil. I filmed this documentary. I decide to go back like a month later, and I'm just working as a stand-up there. For a month, I basically am just opening for this guy named Rafinha Bastos, who's the biggest stand-up in Brazil.
Oh, how did you get that?
It was such a weird little thing. Like, I sort of decided to go on my own, and I had like a couple Facebook people I was connected to in Brazil. Like, they were like, come do stand-up. And I was like, I'll never do it. And this guy was like, there's this open micer who's in America right now. I go to meet the guy. I just think he's like some open micer comic. And he's like dressed really nice. I'm like, what is this? He's like, have you seen my work? I'm like, no, what? And it turns out he's a writer in Brazil, and he was actually here in America pitching the show.
Oh.
It's about basically this really neurotic Brazilian person, but they wanted to do it in English, and they needed somebody who's really Jewish-y and Brazilian, and they were having a really hard time finding her. And then I just show up out of nowhere, and their brains explode.
Yeah.
So we start working on this project together, and he goes, I know this comic. You should meet him. He's like the god, the god of all comics. And he really has been. I mean, he opened the first club in Brazil called Comédia.
Okay.
Comedians. And he's here now in the States.
Oh.
And it's a really big deal, very exciting. The first time in 10 years I got into Just for Laughs. I'm going to Montreal next week. So very excited.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Not a new face. Nothing new about my face.
Are you doing gala?
Except the Botox I get next week. I am doing LOL. I'm doing Kevin Hart's show. Yeah.
That's a very fun show.
So he's been here in the States, and I filmed him doing his first stand-up set in English. He cried. I was like, masturbating behind the camera, like, get it, shoot it. Nice. And so it's been this really cool trade. Whenever I'm in Brazil, he helps me. I do all the radio shows, all the talk shows, blah, blah. And then he comes here, and I'm like, you can have a set in the lab. That's my connection. Enjoy that.
Well, there's more than a few clubs.
No, yeah, it's been, I know it's a hard reality for him to face because he's a famous person in Brazil.
Right. It's like when a doctor from like Pakistan comes to the United States, and they're like,
sort of.
And they're like, we understand that you were like chief of surgery in Pakistan.
Right.
You're still gonna have to go through the paces
You have to pay your
here.
dues. Yeah, but he's doing really well. I mean, he's gotten to Montreal, and he's doing. I mean, he's a legitimately good writer, good stand-up.
Yeah.
But it's been really cool seeing him like go through the whole journey. It's been cool too using my resources. I've never used them for another person besides me, just to see all the tools.
Aw.
It's been cool. And then there's another Brazilian guy who's in town now, and we have a show. Can I plug it?
But please.
We're going to be in the lab on the 21st, all Brazil comics.
For those who maybe live in LA and are not
Improv.
cool enough to know. The Hollywood Improv.
The Hollywood Improv, July 21st, 7 p.m. It's just us three Brazilian comics. We're going to be doing stand-up in English.
Oh, my God.
So it's very exciting to
Is there
see
a
all
name
three
of
of
that
us.
show that people
It's called
should look
Rafinha Bastos and Friends.
Whoa.
But yeah, it's been really exciting. Just reconnecting to my cultures brought this whole other side of me out.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go back?
I was supposed to go back in July and film a Comedy Central Presents, which is exciting.
What?
But then I booked Future Man, so I've been shooting that.
Well, congratulations. Wait a minute. Hang on. They were going to film a Comedy Central Presents with you in Brazil.
Yeah. In Portuguese.
In Portuguese?
Yes, there's a Comedy Central Brazil.
That's what my next question. So this would be to air on Comedy Central Brazil.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I was really nervous about it, so I'm kind of glad that it didn't happen.
No, well, it's gonna happen. Just
It'll
a little
happen
delayed
eventually.
now.
Yeah.
So wait, so then after the success of that, which we both know it will be,
huge.
when they say to you, "Hey, we want to do the same set but in English,"
Yeah. I would love to do that. It's so funny because it's like for 10 years, I've been just like, knocking at every door with stand-up here. And I've never really been validated with like the JFLs and the the lists, and the weird little patches.
Nuts. That's nuts.
And now finally I go back to Brazil and kind of like find my own niche there. And then all this stuff is kind of aligning here in the States, which is interesting. Yeah.
You hear that, folks? They say you can never go home again. Jade will prove you wrong.
Yeah, it was a total Oedipus story. It was really cool. I mean, minus all the mom, dad, weird stuff, but a returning home story.
Okay.
You know?
That's really one small aspect of the Odyssey. There's lots of stories where people go home.
It's more like the Odyssey. I guess it's more like the Odyssey.
Okay. I just want to be clear that
Do people know
it's
their
weird that
mythology?
was your first instinct. Hey, can we talk about your career as an actress?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So stand-up's one thing.
Yes.
So you somehow got on stage when but as far as the acting.
I worked at the Comedy Store, by the way, for 5 years while I was doing stand-up first.
Wow.
Bartended out front.
Out front.
You know that weird bar out front?
I do know that bar. Oh, that's a terrible.
Yeah, I got stuck with a lot of conversation with homeless people. I know all the homeless on Sunset.
You know all the
all
homeless
by
on
first
Sunset.
names. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So how did the acting thing come around?
I mean, about the same time. I went to school for musical theater. And then that's how I got into
Emerson,
film.
right?
Yeah, I went to Emerson.
Yeah.
And then I got into doing student films there and then totally caught the bug. It was just like being on set, being a part of a crew. Like, you're so lucky you got to do all that stuff as a kid. It's so difficult actually getting to be on set and working.
Yes, it is.
Like,
and when you're a kid, you are naive enough to think like, oh, well, this isn't that hard.
Right.
And then you get older
But
and
now
you're
you
like,
know.
Jesus, how did that just fall into my lap?
Yeah.
Yes, no, I agree. And that's why I always feel bad when people ask me for advice who are not children.
Right.
When they're like, oh, how'd you get? And I was like, I was a kid.
You broke in as a kid,
I didn't know any better.
Yeah. But I've been working with Josh Hutchinson, who's also was a kid actor.
Absolutely he was.
His mom is a producer on the show.
I loved him in RV.
He's so cool.
He was a kid in that.
He was? Like tiny?
No, he plays, he's certainly smaller than he is now, but he was Robin Williams' son in RV.
No way. He's been doing it forever. And he's like very down to earth. Yeah. I'm giddy. Like every time I'm on set now, I'm just like I can't believe it.
Okay, but wait a minute though. So there's
back up.
No, I want to get a real answer. Okay, so Emerson musical theater major.
Emerson musical theater. I did a film there. I did like my first film when I was like a freshman. And I was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do.
Okay.
Around the same time I was doing improv. So I was like really into like comedic film stuff.
Okay.
So many people owe me favors. Just all the movies I shot in the snow in a bikini. Like, one day you'll shoot something and I'll be in it.
Oh boy.
I did a lot of student films, and then Emerson has like an LA program where you come out and do an internship that you pay for that I still owe for. I was at UDK or Charlton Kritzer as an intern.
That is a casting company for those who don't know.
Yeah, and they used to do like Nip Tuck, Dexter, CSI. There was like this huge office, and I learned so much. Like I just remember being in the room filming, watching people's auditions, their mannerisms, what they did in the room, what their headshots look like, what their resumes look like. I learned so much, and got a lot of coffee. That's good.
Okay.
And I think my first job out here was a Hootie Shirt commercial.
A what?
Hootie Shirt. It was like a weight loss supplement.
Oh, who do you sure?
Yeah, and then the commercial would go, who do you know who could lose some weight? Maybe even you?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. You're the after model. Obviously.
Did I tell you this story?
No.
I got there and somebody was like, are you an after? I was like, I think I'm a host. And there were people who had done the whole Hootie Shirt process and like had taken it.
Oh, Lord.
And were like actual afters.
Wow.
And then
for those who don't, Jade is so skinny, she could hide behind a beanpole.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep.
It's kind of not fair how people can just say that.
Isn't it? Do you want to know? Here, I'll tell you.
Maybe I'm insecure about how thin I am.
No.
I am.
Are you?
Yeah, man. I don't feel very womanly. Like, I don't like it when people comment on it a lot.
Aw.
It's a new thing I'm like starting to speak out about.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's okay for people to go like, oh my God, you're so skinny. And then you say anything about anybody else's appearance that doesn't have to be, that's not thin.
Thin, sure.
And then it's offensive.
Well, I agree. That's the problem with
but why
society.
is thin the pretty thing or the good thing?
Why are
is
you
it
allowed to see a tall guy and
Yeah.
go, oh shit, you're so huge. You a ball player? Volleyball?
Right.
What do you do? You an athlete?
Yeah.
But you see a short guy, no one is like, oh dude, check that. You a jockey?
right. You getting under table?
Yeah.
You sweeping under?
Yeah, you limbo champion? What's going on with you, bro? Like,
Yeah.
there's the societal shift there.
Standard
where-
of like what's good and what's bad.
Right. You're allowed to comment on someone who has maybe lost a few pounds. You're like, oh my God, you lost weight. You're so skinny. You look great.
Yeah.
But then if you see your friend, you're like, dude, you put on 30 pounds. It's got to be pure muscle, right? You've been lifting, bro?
Right.
Yeah? No? Oh, no, it's not just 8 bowls of cereal at 2 a.m.? Cool.
Yeah, women always are like, oh my God, eat a sandwich. I'm like, okay.
All right.
I've always been a real thin. I don't feel very womanly, even as a little kid, like in Brazil especially, where everybody had tits and ass, and I was just like, hi, I'm an Asian boy. But yeah, I'm thin.
Okay. Yeah, but but you're not. I mean, I know plenty of girls who are thin where I'm like, oh, please, I need to watch you eat a meal
I've been
because
this
I don't
way my
believe
whole
that
life.
you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know that you eat.
Yeah.
We've had meals together.
Yeah. Oh my God, that sushi place. Oh my God, I love that sushi place so
Did we
much.
ever go back there?
No, but I went back. I was on the road with Kevin Nealon, and we went back to that. I took him, and I was just like, see,
Yeah, that
it's
was
just as good as I
That was
remember.
a pretty good sushi spot.
What's it
in
called? Do you
Austin.
remember it?
I don't, but there were 2 restaurants owned by the same.
Una,
Yeah.
and Utsakaya. Utsa
something
and
like
Utsa,
that.
something, yeah.
Something like that. Shit, now I got totally derailed.
Okay, we were talking about acting.
Oh, yes, acting.
So then,
Thank you.
and then my first big job out here was Two Broke Girls. Was my first like big guest star.
Oh,
And
wait,
then-
I thought I had
Yeah.
that. No, I don't have that.
Two Broke Girls, and then Californication was like my first recurring. And
Yeah.
they tried so hard to do this huge sex scene with me. They're like, what's going to happen next week? I was like, I'll probably make out with Duchovny. Because Jesus, that is a good looking man.
He is not an unattractive
He has
fellow.
got something about him,
Yeah.
an energy about him that is just like,
Yeah.
what are you doing later?
The phrase people use now is big dick energy.
Yeah. I think we all know. There's been rumors spread about size, so we're all
okay.
fascinated. But
That's
yeah,
great.
that was like my first big thing.
But it's
Yeah.
more than it was just a big thing. It's my understanding you were only supposed to do 1 episode.
Yeah, I was only supposed to do one.
And then it turned into 7.
Yeah, very exciting.
Which is pretty good because the cable series, a season is only like 12 or 13.
Yeah, it was exciting also because it was the last season, and I really loved the show. The first or second, third season.
And so there was a game that you used to play with Duchovny and Michael Imperioli. Is that correct?
Oh my God, Michael Imperioli, I love him so much. I should reach out to him. This started in college when I was like traveling abroad.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're like in public and there's a lot of people, it's 5 points to touch a stranger's hair.
Okay.
And then it's 10 points to smell it.
Wow.
Smell their hair.
Smell their hair.
Or you could get a whiff of their back, but you got to be real close for the back sniff.
Now, are these touches and smells with or without the person's knowledge?
No, if the person notices, no points.
Gotcha.
The whole thing is to be swift and creepy.
Okay.
With no knowledge of like hurting or embarrassing anybody.
Other than yourself.
Other than myself and the people around me, yeah.
Okay.
The people I care most about are the people I want to humiliate.
And so I'm just going to make a bold prediction that
Yeah.
you were running away with the points lead.
Crushing it, right?
Crushing
But
that
then I
game.
explained it to David. I don't think he really truly understood the game. So anytime I would turn around,
Yeah.
he would try to sniff me, and it would always catch it in a picture. So I have like 6 pictures of him just sniffing me from behind. Anytime I would like get my makeup touched up, he would like walk up and sniff me.
And smell your hair.
Which is like the best.
Aw.
The best.
It's nice to know that he does bits.
He does bits. He's funny.
He does bits.
Yeah.
Did you ever see him on Larry Sanders' show?
No.
Oh my God. Watch. It's
I will.
the
I think he's
greatest.
so funny.
He's so funny.
Yeah, like Kevin did this thing a long time ago, like forever ago, when he was on Conan. Like he was still like a baby. And he did this thing where he worked at an agency where they hired lookalikes, like lookalike actors.
Yep.
And Gary Shandling and David Duchovny were there, like on a lineup, pretending to be themselves. It's just so funny.
That's
David's
amazing.
like, I played David Duchovny. I guess people say that I look like.
Wow.
So funny. Find that clip, you guys. It's worth it.
I will. So wait, how did you get an agent then to even get to the Two Broke Girls and the what have yous and the Californication?
Oh man, I was very like technical about. I took a business of acting class at Emerson, and as soon as I came out here, I was like, let's go. Every person I met, I wrote their name down. I had a photo. I would call agencies just loose and go, can I send something? I was just constantly out trying to meet people. Wow. And that's what I tell people when they first move out here, know everybody.
Yeah.
Because basically what we do is plant seeds. And sometimes you don't pick those flowers for many years. So just constantly spread seeds and tend to your garden. Because that's what your career is. It's just like a pretty garden.
Yeah.
Of disappointments.
Yes, it's a garden of disappointments.
Yeah.
Which is my actual garden, by the way. I do not have a green thumb.
What we do is really hard because it's hard to separate what we do and our self-worth. And so you have to have things that make you happy outside of the industry.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, here's something that I know made you happy. You got to be on one of your favorite TV shows, Modern Family.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I don't watch it as much anymore now.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah, it kind of broke the magic a little.
When acting on it broke the magic.
A little bit.
Wow, you realized they were not, those characters are not real and there's acting?
No, I don't know what it is. It just kind of broke it for me. Like now I see it, I'm like, nah.
All right. Well, I mean, did you have a good experience?
Yeah, I did.
You played Ms. Clark?
I had a tiny role. Like it was supposed to be recurring. It didn't work out. But Ed was like really encouraging for me to improvise.
Oh.
He was like, oh, that's funny. You should do that.
Yeah.
And so I do some like little improv at the very end, like a little button or something. And I hear Video Village laugh. So I'm like, hell yeah. So I do a different one the next take. And they come out and they're laughing. And the director's like, Sophia, so funny, so great. Jade, don't. Ad-lib. Thank you.
Wow.
And then I got a phone call saying that I was too chummy on set.
What?
Yeah, too chummy.
Oh no, did you play the smelling and touching game?
I didn't even get to it, man. I talked to Ed because Ed is really into jujitsu and related to the Gracies. So we were just like shooting the shit and it was cool. I wish I got to do a lot more on that. It was just a tiny thing. And then when I went to Brazil, people were like, Modern Family. I'm like, I had literally 3 lines. Like, I've been a series regular on their show. They're like, Modern Family.
Modern Family. Are we talking about Manhattan Love Story?
Manhattan Love Broken Heart Story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Manhattan Love Story was paired on ABC with another show called Selfie.
Selfie, it was our lead-in. You were in Selfie?
Yeah.
Did I not know that?
I don't know.
Selfie was not a good lead-in for us.
And yet, Selfie was a good show. And I thought
it was funny. I had good moments.
It had the most unfortunate title.
Unfortunate title, and also I don't feel like ABC did a fair. He didn't advertise our show very much, or Selfie that much.
They did not advertise either show properly. No.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And then it was like Blackish, and it was that show's still on. So. Yep. It takes time.
It takes time. I mean, look, the landscape is changing so much so quickly nowadays with streaming. And the problem with the old broadcast model, one episode a week, one season at a time, that sort of thing. The problem is people don't watch TV the way they used to watch TV. And so now you'll hear so many people say, oh, are you going to watch that new show?
Right.
No. I'm going to wait for the whole season to end, then I'll catch up.
I like a binge.
Right. I want to binge them all. I want to binge 20 in a row. And it's like, well, cool. If you don't start watching it, they're not going to keep making them.
Right.
Because the network will say, no one is watching this show. We're pulling it off the air. And then by the time they do that and all the 20 episodes are out a year later, you're like, oh my God, the show is so good. When's the second season? What?
It's over.
So it's forcing networks to make these much bigger monetary gambles of like sticking with a show that maybe has low numbers.
But it takes time.
That's
look
the problem.
Look at the review from the pilot of Friends. When our show got a really bad review, the first one, Manhattan Love Story, Jeff Tomzik, who, oh my God, am I mixing up names though? What's Jeff's last name? Anyway, the creator of the show sent us the review of Friends.
Okay.
Like the very first review, which was like, Joey is a misogynist.
Yeah.
Nobody believes they're friends. Their apartment's way too nice. And over time, you kind of fell in love with these these characters that were a bit two-dimensional, and it takes time, and you don't get that anymore. It's such a bummer. People have to love it right away.
You got to love it. It's got to be. Well, it's not as bad in that department. Like in the old days, if your show there was a period in there where if your show was not an instant ratings hit, it was canceled. Now there's
Yeah.
a little more leeway because the networks are becoming more aware of the scenario I just presented, but it's still
But
not.
they give like 4 episodes, and then the one that they read are like Nielsen review from,
Yeah.
or is it Nielsen or
Nielsen.
Nielsen? Yeah, it was like the same day as the World Cup or the World Series
Yeah.
and the finale of The Voice, which is like 1 channel away. It was
Yeah.
just like we had no chance.
one channel away.
We had no chance.
That's a good way to describe it.
know?
Yeah, well, I mean,
What a joy that show was, really.
Yeah. Did you shoot it on the Warner Brothers lot?
We shot it in New York City. I had to move to New York. I had 2 weeks to move to New York. And it's the best decision I ever made. It was like, and now I have a life there. I still have my apartment there.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was really cool. And the cast was like friends for life.
They were delightful people.
Delightful.
Yeah, I think I saw some.
And I
of
love
the
playing
upfronts.
like a rich Jewish Brazilian woman. Like, are you kidding? That's my dream.
So I think we just need to write a new show where you're a rich Brazilian.
Well, we're trying. You know, Brazilian people are not really ever portrayed in a good light on television in American audiences. We're either like a guy serving meat with a Spanish accent or like a bikini girl, which is not
That's
normal
not-
because I
that's-
am currently in a bikini for the people who can't
It's
see.
true.
Yeah, and high
I didn't want to
heels.
comment on it.
Yeah, bikini and I'm just holding a soccer ball.
Right. Right. And you have the spinning meat.
Oh my God, are you watching the wrong now?
I can't. I'm not.
I'm into it.
You know, I'm a one sport man.
No, I know. You're
I'm a
baseball guy.
Yes,
I know about your baseball.
Yes, thank you. I can't. I mean, I get the excitement.
So exciting this year.
I get it. I get it. I just. It's tough. It's tough for me to follow along because I don't know. Maybe it's because there's not enough football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, here on the
Yeah.
regular.
Well, you should watch the final game. It should be really good.
All right,
Croatia
I will
against
watch.
France,
I
8
will
a.m.
watch
on
the final.
Sunday.
Oh, I'm good. I'll catch the tail end of that.
I'll catch the highlights at 12 when I wake up.
I'll catch it in quadruple overtime or whatever, extra time, whatever they
Just
call
do the
version
highlights.
of that. Let's see. Oh, okay. So, Angel from Hell.
Oh,
which
shit.
I
That's
have to talk about
of
because chat show himself, Mr. Kevin Pollak,
yes.
was a regular on Angel from Hell.
You know what's funny? I tested for that. I tested for the lead role in that show, and then it went to. Oh my God, I'm blanking. Jesus, who is the lead in Angel from Hell? Super fun. Jane Lynch.
Jane Lynch.
I was like, what is life?
Tested for Jane Lynch?
I tested for Jane Lynch's role, which is like.
That's an interesting one
Come
when
on.
that happens.
We knew that it wouldn't go to me, but I loved being a placeholder for like one of my idols.
Okay.
I had like another tiny role, and I was just like this angry woman walking into a bar, but I had a baby on me.
Ooh.
Like I had to work with a real baby. It was crazy.
Oh no.
So I just had to run into this loud club basically with a baby on me and go like, "What are you doing here?" And like,
And how was that baby to act with?
it was so hot that day.
Yeah.
The poor baby was just stuck to me permanently. The poor sweaty baby. But yeah, Kevin was really sweet.
Oh,
he was in
good.
the scene. It was just kind of a quick.
It was a quickie.
I'm really, I just go in and out. That's the way I like it.
No.
No, I'm kidding. I really just want to act for more than a day on a show.
Well, you've certainly done that plenty of times.
But
I
yeah,
have
Angel from Hell was another quickie. It was really cool though.
this giant resume here. I'm looking at you have 40 some odd credits. You've been plugging away.
Plugging away, man.
What,
Chipping away.
Yeah, Life in Pieces.
Life in
We did
Pieces
2
is a
episodes
cool.
of that.
Yeah, so hopefully I'll come back. I just finished, and they let me make her a little Portuguese too. She speaks Portuguese on the show a little bit.
That's lovely.
So that's exciting. I try to sneak it in whenever I can. I love that show. That's another funny thing. I tested against Angelique for Colleen, the lead role.
Wow.
And then now I play her sister.
Okay.
They just brought me back after.
I've been meaning to ask all my fellow actor friends, how many shows have you tested for? Which, for those who are unfamiliar, in the auditioning process when they are casting a brand new series, when they're casting all the regulars, a network test is the very last step. When they've narrowed it down to like 2 or 3 people
Right.
for any given role, the last thing they do is they all sort of audition again in front of the network, and then that's when the network decides which of those people
and
they want
it's
to go
a
with.
nerve-wracking situation.
It's awful. It robs years of your life.
You know what I've been asking them to do, which they won't do for me? I don't want to sign the paperwork that says how much money I'm making right before I do it.
You have to, though.
I know,
You don't
but
have to know what it says.
I know, but I can't. those zeros, I just, it's just so much pressure for me. I still am not at the point. I've done so many tests, by the way. Right. Every season, I test like 4 times.
Which leads to my next question.
Yeah.
So first off, congratulations on that
so
alone.
Much.
There are so many. Yes, there are so many actors who never get to test.
All right, I feel proud.
And so getting to the point where you're testing multiple times in any given pilot season,
right?
You are a half step away from being 1980s George Clooney.
No, I feel very lucky. I feel like casting directors count on me to like make a good impression, and I'm on their short list. But I get so nervous.
Well, of course,
you get one chance.
Right.
Most studios don't laugh. Like CBS, they're told not to laugh.
Yeah.
So you're doing this comedic scene that takes laughter to give you the beats. Yep. You kind of need that rhythm, and you're just doing it. Man.
Yeah.
And you want it so badly.
But my question is, so of all these shows that you test for but then don't book, but then the show gets picked up to the air.
Oh, boy.
How many of them have actually asked you to come on to play a guest starring role?
Oh, several.
Several, right?
Yeah, several.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exact planting seeds.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, like when I did Life in Pieces and didn't get it, one of the producers like wrote me a handwritten letter being like, "We loved you. It just wasn't a fit. We will work with you one day." And 3 years later,
I've literally never been on a show that I tested for and didn't get.
Wait, what do you mean? Say it.
Like I've tested for the show, and I didn't get the part, but the show got picked up, and in several cases they've run for a decade.
Yeah, and they're like, we never want to see you.
Never brought me in. I'm like, let me get this straight. You almost wanted to be in a position where we saw each other every day, where you were like, this guy is so good, we want to hang our show's success on him. Or get the fuck out of here and don't you come back.
Well, maybe there's just no small roles that you fit into just because you're such a big star.
You're so sweet to say that. There's literally no chance. There's one specific show I'm thinking of. I will not call it by name, but let's say it's not a small
boy.
Theory. I don't know how to phrase that.
Wait, can I fangirl for a second?
Sure.
You know Wet Hot American Summer is my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, I've heard you discuss this on the podcast.
I'm obsessed with Stella. Michael Showalter, Michael Ian Black, David Wayne.
Please.
Genius.
Yeah.
And it's so cool that you get to be a part of that family. It's so exciting. Like
Thanks,
every time
Jade.
I see your photos, I'm like, gosh, it's so cool. It's just and people don't even know. People are just introduced to Wet Hot as a show, and they're like, what is this? This is abstract and weird and absurd. But to me, it's like such an integral part of why I do stand-up and why I'm like my everyday. Like for years, my ex, I would say "zau" for pizza because of that sketch they did, and he thought it was just how you say pizza in Portuguese. I'm like, no, it's how Michael Showalter says it in that fart sketch.
Aww.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Was that such a fun experience?
It was. I mean, the original movie was a very strange experience because I auditioned for it several times.
See, they brought you back.
They did. So I auditioned for it on tape. Because they were casting only local New York people.
What did you go
when I was
in for?
living in LA. For Artie, the camp DJ.
Right.
And
Duh.
Yeah.
The guy that never showers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was sending my tapes overnight to David Wayne in New York.
Incredible.
And he was looking at them, and then he'd call me and he'd give me notes, and I'd make another tape and FedEx it overnight to him again.
Oh my God.
And then after like 3 of those, I just didn't hear anything. I was like, yeah.
But now you're on it.
But then 6 months later, he called me and he was like, all right, kid we got had a great look and everything, but something just didn't work out. Can you come to New York and dub his voice?
No.
Sure.
Wait, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is it your voice?
That's my voice in the movie.
Stop.
Yeah.
Do you know I know so much stuff about that movie, like all this weird hidden stuff.
And you don't know
And I didn't know that. Oh my God, that's so exciting. I can't wait to tell my other fan friends.
And so, frankly, I think that would have been the end of it had I not gotten work elsewhere.
That's so exciting. I'm like so.
I don't know that there would have been any cause for David and company, David and Showalter to reach out to me again to revoice the kid in First Day of Camp.
They took your voice.
Had I not done it in the movie.
They Little Mermaid you.
A little bit. And then, so I don't get actual credit in the feature.
Yeah.
They gave me a special thanks credit.
That's very exciting. I feel like that's even cooler.
I was very
love
happy
that
to
movie.
have it.
I love when they're like, wait for me. And then they just stand in front of a wall.
Yeah. For me, the thing that makes me laugh probably hardest in that movie, and boy, that is a tough thing to pick. But
Right.
The thing that will always make me laugh is Ken Marino's absolutely perfect
driving.
reaction when he's singing
Yeah.
right before he
I'm so in love. Oh, shit!
It is singularly one of the greatest takes.
I love that. Yeah, there's too many lines, but I will. She's like, can you get me some lube? It's for my pussy.
Yeah. Yeah, those are some funny guys.
Really fun for people who don't know the movie.
Yeah, and watch the damn
the
movie,
original movie.
and then watch both of the
Janine is so funny in
of
it.
the series that they've made of it. First Day of Camp and 10 years later.
Yeah. Guys, we're going to meet here 10 years, right? Oh, what time? 6? I already have something at 6.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. It's
yeah.
cool that you got to do that.
Oh, thank y'all.
Yeah.
All right. Last, I know we got a ticking clock on you.
Yeah, I got an
a ticking
audition.
clock. She's got an audition. So then, real quick, I want to go back to stand up because I know that's where your heart is.
Is it?
Isn't it?
I think my heart is split, but I think I see. Oh man, yeah, it's split.
It's split.
It's split. I can never stop doing stand up because I'm sort of addicted to it.
Okay.
But in a perfect world, I'm not touring as much as I'm doing now.
I hear you.
Yeah.
That is taxing.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I'm not even headlining, so it's like not even that difficult.
But wait, did you not, as the internet rung, did you not do a headlining hour set at Caroline's earlier this year?
I do headline. It's just I avoid it because nobody shows up.
Oh, I know.
The Caroline's one was a nightmare. It was like a Thursday night. It was like snowing out. It was like 10 of my closest friends in the audience just like, are we done yet? Can we smoke weed? I'm like, let me talk for 15 more minutes.
Aw.
But I got to put myself out there.
Absolutely.
I've just gotten really comfortable middling because I've been opening for Bobby Lee for literally 9 years.
Right. And so that's the thing I wanted. So you've been opening for Bobby Lee, Kevin Nealon, Bill
for
Burr.
5 years. I haven't opened for Bill in a while. I should.
Okay.
He told me I was going to get a date soon, and I haven't.
Yeah.
And then I'm hoping to open for Russell this year. But it's such a cushy position. Like they fly you out, they put you up. You do 20 minutes. You don't have to do any of the promoting. Like,
Right.
It's hard to transition over to like being the headliner. You know, I just hate selling myself. Being like, I don't know. I hate inviting people to stand up. I just started doing it this year.
Well, I mean, I get that, but I feel like it's part of the job.
I
right?
know, but it makes me feel gross. And then I'm like, you could be doing anything else. It's more fun, like watching Killing Eve and smoking a joint.
Sure.
You
but
know?
I mean, like it's impossible to try to think about like the most successful comedians you know. Like there was a point in their careers.
I don't think Bill was
had
ever like,
to?
yeah, you gotta come see me. I'm the funniest guy around. Like I don't think he ever was like that.
Yeah, but I don't know that he was. I don't think he said it like that.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, you
it
guys
was-
got to come out see some comedy.
Come out to the show. It's gonna be good today. Come out to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was that. Plus now with the social
getting
medias,
there. I'm getting there.
The social medias have made it easier. It is a lot. It is there's less stigma tweeting about a show you're doing.
Yeah. Who was it yesterday? I was like. Yesterday during the rehearsal on set, I kept doing my line really fast. I played this really weird character on the show, and I kept doing my line really fast, and I kept messing it up. And one of the actors, Sean Brown, is an awesome actor. He goes, well, sometime in your life you figured out you think that you don't have enough worth, so you talk really quickly because you don't want to fill the space. You don't want to take the space. And it's like so important to allow yourself to take space.
Sure.
That, you're allowed to have that for yourself. So it's like, I'm just starting to get there, like really comfortable where I'm like,
nice.
yeah, I'm really good at this. Come see me. Like,
Yeah.
so it's a new thing for me.
All right. Well, then you've got a microphone and an audience of I believe we established 58 million
58
people.
million, point two.
So tell all of the people listening where they can find you and see you.
Well, guys, it's going to be a busy week. I'm going to be at the Comedy Store all next week, and then I'm going to be at the Ice House doing half an hour, sharing the stage with Mark Maron. We're both doing half an hour.
Whoa.
July 8th, that's at the Ice House, and then also I'm going to be...
Wait, no, July 8th was already happening.
Or no, I'm sorry. Jesus. No, it didn't. July 18th.
There you
I'm sorry.
go.
I was like, wait, did it? I missed my show. Sorry, guys. I've been on a set every day. I don't know what time it is. July 18th, I'll be at the Ice House. And then July 21st, you can catch me in the lab, Huffing and Friends. There'll be other shows. You can see them on my Instagram, at the Jade Movie. And then also catch me in Montreal. I'll be there from the 24th to the 28th.
Yay.
doing the festival. Very exciting. And then look out for me in Future Man.
Future Man, that's on Hulu, yes?
Yes, season 2, Future Man, doing 7 eps.
You guys are shooting that right now?
We're shooting it right now.
Any idea when that drops on the Hulu? January. All right, so a little bit of a wait, but you guys got to finish shooting it.
It's a really technical show. There's a lot of stunt work,
It's
a lot
a crazy
of flames.
show.
Today, my dress is flame repellent.
Wow.
So,
And are you enjoying working with Eliza?
I don't ever get to work with Eliza.
That's bullshit.
I know, but she walks through sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, your body. She's got the best body I've ever seen on a human. She's so fit and so tan. But I do get to work with Derek Wilson, who's incredible. I've never worked with anybody of that sort of caliber. He's a very, very good actor. And everybody on the show we're like in a weird sex cluster.
Oh.
So I just shot my first orgy scene on this show.
Oh, congratulations. It's about time.
I'm not sure if I can say that, but yeah.
Yeah?
Maybe we blur that.
Maybe not supposed
Maybe
to
we
talk about
blur. Remember, I'm not supposed to talk about orgies on here, but.
Oh, you can talk about anything on here. Our audience is very progressive people. Well, look, we did it. It's you still got like 1 minute to go. So with your last minute here in the booth, is there anything, Jade Catta-Preta, you want to talk about?
I just want to say muito obrigado por me ter no show. Eu amei estar aqui e eu te vejo logo.
Now look, I think if my Portuguese is what I think it is, she just
I didn't
told
say
me
others, so
that she wants to go out to the Arby's across the street right after we get out of the studio.
Ooh, Arby's on a hot day. Nothing like some hot beef.
Like some roast beef and cheese when it's 110 degrees
Give me
outside.
some special sauce, baby.
Guys, if you have not seen Jade, check her out online. Watch her doing the actings. Check out Crunch Time. It's on iTunes.
Oh, it's so good, guys.
Spend 10 stupid dollars and get all 6 episodes of Crunch Time. I swear you will not be disappointed. And if you're lucky enough to live in the LA area or the Montreal area, do yourself a favor and get tickets to go see her. She is hilarious. And Jade,
Thanks,
I cannot
Sam.
thank you enough for
I
taking
love
the
you.
time. I love you too.
I love you. Let's go work on those kids.
Okay, terrific. Let's do it. Let's make some sickly babies. Okay, I have to thank a few people before I can fully let you go. Let me see. I want to thank Chat Show himself, Mr. Kevin Pollak.
Oh, Kevin, thank you.
Thanks for being so goddamn busy and successful that I can keep guest hosting. Thank you to our head writer, Jamie Foxx. Thank you to Corey Levin, producer and post. Thank you to Jason McIntyre. Thank you to the Earwolf Overlords, and of course Jordan in the booth with us on our data. And that's it for me. So until next time, you may fuck off.